Hi folks, Greg Lloyd here, professional piano player and creator of Classical to Jazz Piano, with another quick lesson for you. Learning jazz can be confusing and difficult. The jigsaw of jazz education can be hard to put together. So I thought I'd help you all along with this quick tip and lesson today. Have you been looking for a way to play solo jazz piano, but you don't know where to start or what to play? Or are you wondering which scales to play and how to improvise on an F blues? Can you read music? Well, if this is you, then stick around, as I'm going to show you how to play an F blues for solo jazz piano right now. Plus, I'm going to show you all the things you need to know to improvise all the scales. All right. And I'm going to do this all in 4 steps. So before we kick off, make sure that you download the free guide below, print it off, and you're good to go. Plus, do subscribe, hit that bell and the like button. And do check out all the other videos on the YouTube channel below, and of course the website classicaltojazzpiano.com. All right, let's get going. So what we're doing here is a thing called the jazz blues, and it's a bit more advanced than the 3-chord blues. So the 3-chord blues is when you do a F7 for 4 bars, B flat 7 for 2 bars, F7 for 2 bars, C7 for 1 bar, B flat 7 for another bar, and then F7, and then to C7, which is optional, which is a turnaround and lead you back to the beginning. Okay, but things progressed, with the jazz, and more chords, more scales. All right, so this is what I've got here is a variation of a 12-bar blues that I like. Okay, now there's many variations of this. Okay, this is just one variation, and it's just one I like. So I'm going to run through it here right now. Step 1 is the root note in the left hand, and then 3rd and 7th in the right hand. Now I've got the flat and 7th on the bottom and the 3rd on top. All right, and then it's going to the 3rd and the flat and 7th. All right, and the root note in the left hand, to B flat 7 in bar 2. And then F7 again, and it's the flat 7th and the 3rd. All right. Now, when we get to bar 4, you have the option of playing F7 again all the way through, which is pretty cool. Or if you want to get a bit slicker, you can add in what I've got written there. Okay, in bar 4, which is the C minus 7 to an F7. All right. So I've got the flat 7th on the bottom and the flat 3rd on the top with the C minus 7, and then I've got the F7. All right, I see that's a nice voice leading there. All right, and then I'm leading to the B flat in bar 5. Okay, so I've got the flat and 7th and the 3rd. You see that there? Now again, this is optional. You can stick to the B flat 7 there in bar 6, or you can play a B diminished 7. All right, which is this. Okay, in bar 6, and then coming to bar 7, coming back to the F7. Now, a couple of options here. You could play the A minus 7 to a D7, which will work really well. All right. But what I like to play is the minus 7 of Latin 5th there, and that's what I've got written there. So if you want to do it this is in bar 8 with the A minus 7 to the D7, you can just play A, G, and C, and then to the D7, F sharp, and flat 7th, which is the 3rd, and the flat 7th there. Okay, so, or you can play what's written there, which is what I'm going to play, the A in the left hand, which is the root note, and then the flat 7th on the bottom, and the flat 3rd, and then the flat 5th. I've added in a note there just to highlight the flat 5th. All right, so it just makes it sound a wee bit stronger, I think. And then to the F7, which is the 3rd, and then the flat 7th. All right, and then coming to bar 9, you have an option again. You could play what's written there, which is a G minus 7, which is the F, the flat 7th, and the flat 3rd. Or if you want to play the G7, you can just make that a natural. All right, but I'm going to leave it for today as a flat 7th and a flat 3rd for the G minus 7, and then to a C7. So you've got the flat 7th on the bottom and the 3rd on top there, the root note, and then we get our turnaround. Okay, coming into the flat and then that's an F7, to a D7, then to a G minor 7, and then to a C7 there. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the metronome on here at 60 beats per minute, and I'm just going to run through it once just so you can hear it. Okay. So here we go. 2, 3, and 4, and 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. There, right? Now, you can, if you're a bit more advanced, of course, you can speed it up, but I recommend 60 beats if you're starting off. It's a good tempo, so 60 beats per minute there. That's what we just now did. So that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? All right, let's move on to step 2. Okay, so here's step 2. Okay, so step 2 of an F blues, and this is a real cool thing to get under your belt. I still use this quite a lot, and this is the 12-bar blues that I use quite a lot as well. As I said before, there's many variations, but this is just one that I like. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're playing the root note and then the flat and 7th and the 3rd on the F7, and then we're coming to the 5th and then the 3rd and 7th again. You could do the root note again twice there like that, but moving up to the 5th gives it a little bit of movement in my mind. Okay, so you got this kind of nice movement sort of happening there. So going to the 2nd bar, there's the root note, then the 3rd and the flat 7th, and the 5th of the B flat. All right, that sounds pretty cool. And then it comes back to the F7 again in bar 3, and then to bar 4, you've got our 2-5 leading into the bar 5. So we got our C and then our flat 3 and our flat and 7th for a C minus 7, and then F7, flat and 7th and the 3rd. All right, leading into bar 5. B flat 7 and then 3 and flat and 7th and the 5th again. Now again is optional if you want to. By the way, if you want to play an F7 in bar 4, that's completely cool. So bar 5 again, coming up to there, and then bar 6 is where you can play the B flat 7 again if you want to, or you can play the B diminished, which I've got written there. Okay, it's a bit more flavoursome there, isn't it? So, and then moving into the back to the F7 again, and now again, if you want to play the A minus 7, you can just play the G and the C, and then the D, and then the F sharp. But I like the flattened 5th, okay, on the A minus 7, and then you've got your D7 there, okay? And then we're leading in to bar 9, and for the G minus 7, or if you want to do the G7, that's okay as well, with the natural 3. All right, and then the 5th, and then, so I'm going to do the G minus 7 because I like that one. But I do vary them quite a lot, all right? But just for today, we're going to do G minus 7, and then leading into the C7 with the 5th, and then the C7, and then you turn around, all right? And it's pretty cool. So see what's written there. And again, on the bar 12, you could do that G minus 7 as a G7 as well if you wanted to. But like again, for today, we're going to leave it as the minus 7, okay? And then, all right, so I'm going to put the metronome on 60 beats per minute, and I'm going to play this one now, okay? So here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounding pretty good. Okay, so let's move on to step 3. Okay, so step 3 is pretty much the same as step 2 again, but we're just adding in the blues scale with the right hand. Okay, so the F blues scale. So it's 1, flat 3, 4, sharp 4, 5, flat 7, and an 8. All right, the F blues scale, and we're just going to go up and down like that. Put my metronome on 60 beats per minute. I'm going to play step 3 right now. So here we go. 3 and 4 and. Okay, so there it is, step 3. All right, sounds pretty cool, isn't it? Let's move on to step 4. Okay, so step 4 is a root notes with third and seventh in the left hand again, just like step 3 and step 2. But this time I'm giving you a scale map in the right hand. Now, this is really sort of moving into the chords and into the harmony a lot more. All right, so this is a bit more for the bit more advanced piano player. So if you're not able to if you're not comfortable with the blues scale in F, and being able to freely move around with the blues scale in F in step 3, then this one might be a little bit something you can look at later. So I do recommend doing step 3 before you come on to step 4. Okay, so I'm not really showing you in this video how to improvise. I'm just really giving you guys the scales to use, and in future videos I will talk about how to use these scales to help you improvise. But this is just really to give you the scale map, if you like, to give you the foundations to check out. Now, because this is a little bit more advanced, this step, I'm not going to worry about the metronome with this at all. I'm just going to explain kind of what's going on with this one. So with this, you see we've still got the left hand exactly how it was, and we have the option of the F blues will work all the way through like in step 3. All right, so that's really cool. Now there are other blues scales that work as well, but that's all for later. Okay, so I recommend if you're just starting off just to do the F blues in step 3, and then with this one here in step 4, we're digging in a lot more into the modes. All right, now people get scared of the modes when they hear that word, but I'm going to be doing some future lessons on how I look at the modes and to help you guys understand all this stuff. So, but for today, I'm just going to run through what's here. Okay, so we got here on the F7, we got the F Mixolydian. All right, that sounds really cool. It's kind of sounds really cool. All right, or you can play the F blues scale. So it sounds pretty cool as well. All right, so and then you got your. Okay, so I'm going to put up some licks and stuff on this stuff in the future. Don't worry. But like again, this is just an outline of what's going on. All right. So then we get to the B flat. All right, and then we're going to play the B flat Mixolydian, which is again the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7th, and the 8th. Now, if you're wondering what the Mixolydian scale is, that's what it is. It's the major scale with a flattened 7th. Okay, and in bar 3, we're coming back to the F7 again. And so to fit these scales in, as I've got 2 scales here, I put them in as 16th notes. And so please don't be too, if it looks scary, don't try to play the rhythm. All right, just check out the notes, which in this case is C Dorian on a C minus 7 there. All right, and then you're going to play it's 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7th, and an 8th. Okay, and then it goes to the F Mixolydian. Okay, all right, or you can just play the F Mixolydian through bar 4. You don't have to play that 2/5. Okay, so leading into bar 5, you've got comes back to the B flat mixolydian. All right, and then again you can play the B flat mixolydian again in bar 6, or if you want to play the B diminished 7th, what I recommend starting off with is just the triads. You don't want to be worried about the scale at this point. You can use any of those notes of the triad. It works really well. All right, so we're moving on to bar 7, where it's F mixolydian again. Okay, and then again, this is a bit of a tricky one. If you wanted to play the A-7 to a D7, you could, all right? But I'm going to play the A-7 flattened 5th and a D7 with flattened 9. And there's a thing called the minor 2-5 rule, which I will go into in the future. And this is what I like to use here. A G harmonic minor scale over the 2 chords, which works really, really well. But if you want to play the A-7 flattened 5th and play the A Locrian, that's cool. If you want to do it that way, that's okay. And then you come to the D7 with a flattened 9, and you can play your secondary dominant scale, which would be mixolydian flat 9, flat 13, which is really the 5th mode of the harmonic minor scale, which is a G harmonic minor. Okay, so there's your D mixolydian flat 9, flat 13. So if that just went over your head, that's okay. I'm just putting it in there just to help the more advanced student. Okay, so I just look at it as G harmonic minor through those 2 chords, and it works really well. It's got this kind of sound, you know. Sounds great to me, man. You hear it there, okay? Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? One more time. Sounds great to me. And then leading on to the bar 9. Okay, we got the G-7, which is a G Dorian. All right. Sounds pretty cool. You know, you could also play a G7 there. All right, which is a G mixolydian, which will work really well. But for today, I'm just going to leave it as a Dorian. And for the C7 there in bar 10, I've got the C mixolydian with a flattened 7th, or I've added in the secondary dominant scale as well, which is a C mixolydian flat 9, flat 13. All right. There it is there. Okay, so it uses 1, flat 9, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and an 8, or it's the 5th mode of the F melodic minor. Okay, there's your F melodic minor, and you go to the 5th note, and you play the. Now, optional, you can use each of those scales, you know, or you could use your blues scale, of course, all the way through this 12-bar blues as well. So then leading on to the F in bar 11, we come back to the F mixolydian, and then we come to our D7 again, which is the D mixolydian flat 9, flat 13, or the G harmonic minor scale, whichever way you want to look at it. It's pretty confusing. And then to the G Dorian again, and then to the F mixolydian. All right. So again, that's for the bit more advanced student, but it's really cool. This is how I look at it, and there's many variations out there. So I know I'm going to get a lot of emails of people saying, "Oh, I do this, I do that." Cool. This is just how I look at it. Okay. So, all right. How's that? So if you are enjoying the content on this channel, then please do subscribe and click the bell to be notified when the new videos arrive. This will help me help you, because as the channel gets bigger, I'll be able to focus on it more, therefore giving you guys more and more awesome content. Also, check out the Facebook and Instagram links below, and of course the website classicaltojazzpiano.com. Plus, as this is a new channel and I really want to help you guys cut through the confusion of learning jazz piano and transform your piano playing, so do you have a question on jazz piano? You know, what are you stuck on? You know, let me know below in the comment area, or you can email me at greg@classicaltojazzpiano.com. All right, so I hope this video has helped, and we'll see you soon. Take it easy.